4th of July, everyone. Wearing my America shirt. Still proud of this country. So anyway, celebrate the 4th of July. I had a few days off from work and my girlfriend Jessie did too. So we came out here to Colorado, actually to the place that we're going to be elk hunting this fall, and calling it a vacation, but also doing some scouting. So the main goal of this trip was we've already done a bunch of e-scouting with Onyx. The main goal of this trip was to check out access, like see how bad the roads are, determine if we can even get Trevor's truck in here, if we have to take mine, or if we have to borrow Dad's Raptor, if we can take a trailer in here, see how bad the creeks are that we're gonna have to cross, which it was pretty bad this morning, but I don't think it'll be that bad in the fall. And get an overall idea of the steepness of these mountains. These are some of the highest mountains in Colorado and some of the nastiest stuff. I don't know what's wrong with us to pick this unit, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. And we have muzzleloader tags, which is pretty cool, and Trevor has a mule deer tag. But that was the main goal. So we camped, and then this morning came into this big long basin. It has a creek going through it, like 3 miles long. And the thing I liked about this is there's no trail coming in the bottom, like no hiking trail. And there's quite a bit of hiking activity going on here. Actually, there's boatloads of people in here, so I like that about it. But getting in here, it is impenetrable. There is absolutely no way that we could pack an elk out of this, going at least on this side. So we're turning around. We're probably a mile and a half in on this hike, and this is actually an avalanche slide, and we're gonna turn around because we've attempted it 3 or 4 different times and just can't even get through it without we can't even get through it with just ourselves, let alone 100 pounds of meat on our back or whatever it comes out to be. So we're gonna go back to the truck and scout some of the other areas that we liked, and maybe at the end of this trip we'll go around the back side and see if we can come up over the top, which doesn't look like a good option, but it might be the only option if we want to hunt in here. So that's what we learned. Alright, so we drove to the other side of the unit, kind of close to where we were planning to hike tomorrow, trying to get it kind of figured out, and there were some pins that I wanted to check out that almost looked too steep, but we came up here and the place was too steep, but right before it looks awesome. As you can see behind me, there's a bunch of knolls, a bunch of benches, and then there's some high alpine grassy areas that they can feed in, and there's also a valley that they might feed in. I don't know if they'll come down, but I said to Jess, I bet there could be elk feeding up above tree line. And I was using my binos, I couldn't see anything. It's like 2 miles up there at least, I don't know. And then I looked like one last time and I thought I saw elk, and got the spotter out, phone scope, and I sure did.
Wow. That's a bull. That's a bull. Holy crap, this is so
You hit the mother
cool.
lode.
I was so excited. We're gonna hunt up there, I bet.
The song?
Mm-hmm.
both been doing a ton of e-scouting using Onyx, but getting boots on the ground has been really awesome, trying to check out, make sure, basically there's a ton of really steep areas in here. Some of it's too steep even for elk, so just to get a feel for that. And one feature that I think is just amazing for this scenario where Trevor can't get out here is the new photo attachment feature that you can use with the Hunt app. You can attach a photo directly to the spot you're standing in, right to the waypoint. And so honestly, Trevor's gonna get basically the same boots on the ground experience and getting to see it at specific locations, all from the Hunt app and Onyx, without having to walk 10 miles in here or whatever it is. So it's a pretty sweet feature, and I've been using it to take pictures of any nice benches to bed on, feeding areas, whether it's too steep or not. This trail is really heavily used by people, but there's still elks on here, so just marking waypoints like that has been super helpful. And if you guys are ever in this scenario, I think it could really help. So I just have been really amazed with it, and I just found out this feature, just started using it, so I thought I'd share. What an absolutely incredible last day. We ended up getting a 10-mile hike in up to a beautiful high mountain drainage that was full of awesome deer and elk country. Probably our number 2 spot going into the hunt, behind only the spot that we actually witnessed and got footage of elk coming out of. And we actually got more footage of them. But then we hiked out of that drainage and got some awesome footage right off the road of a huge mule deer buck, and he was actually on public as well, so we'll keep that in the memory bank. Drove down the road a little bit further, ended up glassing some bighorn sheep, and that was honestly probably the coolest part of this entire trip and this entire scouting trip. And it was just super cool to get awesome footage of them and watch them jump around on those cliffs like it was nothing. Really cool. And then ended up going back to the same spot that we filmed elk come out of the night before, and over 100 head of elk came out of the timber up into that high mountain feeding area, and we got some little bit better footage of them. It was still 2.5 miles away, so kind of hard to tell what they are, but just picking apart on my phone, zooming in, I can tell there's at least 30 bulls that came out of there, and can't tell what they were, but that's perfectly fine with us because we'll shoot the first raghorn we see, to be honest. So as long as he's legal, we're going to shoot him. So that's definitely the place that we are starting out at. I mean, there's a lot of elk in there. It looks like beautiful country, kind of predictable with the benches and where we think they can bed. And we kind of figured out how we can get a trail to get up there. It's going to be probably 3 miles in and 2,500 vertical feet. So probably far enough that it's no longer day hunt material, which I think should weed out a lot of the pressure in that area. To be able to hunt those elk, I think you have to pack in and hunt with either camp on your back or spike camp. So that's going to give us an advantage because that's our plan. So this trip was awesome. We learned so much about the unit. Not only did we cross off a bunch of plans, even some that were high on our list, between access, not being able to get there on certain roads, and then too many people, too many hikers on some of the trails, crossed some of those off. And then we also found just an awesome starting point where we know that they're elk, and there should still be elk this September, and then a couple of backup plans as well. So just gonna wrap up the video here, but I'm just gonna let the rest of this awesome footage roll, and hope you liked it. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to see future content. Thanks for watching.